This is the Daily Market Rundown live from the Tradelo Trading floor. It's Monday the 27th of January and some highlights from today's show. Is it Flash Crash 2.0? Let's get stuck into it. Okay, traders, let's get stuck right, and we're not going to go through anything other than talk about some of the overnight news. It's very obvious the deep-sake news of the weekend is creating a significant amount of concern around AI. What is the theme? What is generally what's been understood? Well, look, DeepSeek came out and they have produced a model that has learned off of data and can, to some degree, reason, as well as OpenAI's O1 version, and it performs at the same level but at a fraction of the cost. Okay, 1/30th of the cost in terms of compute power. That's the general thinking. In other words, it's very cheap to run. That's the basic logic. Now, the problem and where the concern comes is twofold. One, the American AI companies are all investing billions. Okay, I think Microsoft came out and they told us they're going to spend 50 billion in capex this year. Facebook just confirmed last week by Zuckerberg they're going to do 80 billion in capex. In other words, they are happy just to keep buying NVIDIA chips, keep building these data centers under the understanding that we need that amount of compute power. Now the problem is what this Chinese open source model throws into the equation is, do we actually need all that capacity? Do we need all that sort of rollout? Now, I know there's a lot of pushback saying, oh no, they've used 50,000 GPUs and blah, 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 blah. I get all that logic, okay? The problem we have is that there's an uncertainty in the market now where we are spending billions and billions in capex, creating capacity under the assumption we need that capacity. So what happens now in terms of domino effects is every big major tech company steps back to that and says, pause, go and review, do we need that CapEx expenditure? Okay, that's how this is going to work now. All these big companies are going to go and review their CapEx expenditure. Do they need to roll out as much purchasing of NVIDIA chips? Now, why NVIDIA? Well, look, NVIDIA is the dominant chip player. I'm not going to go into the technical detail of it. The short answer, NVIDIA's just got the best GPUs. They connect the best in terms of stacking, and pretty much most of your big paid engineers are using NVIDIA chips, or at least they're technically skilled in GPUs, NVIDIA's GPUs. Now, it's not to say that AMD and all that is inferior. It's just the weight and the muscle and the money is all sitting and purchasing pretty much NVIDIA's GPUs. Now, what I want to stress at this point, okay, is that the markets effectively are uncertain. And this is why I said it's all good and well saying, yes, they did train them off of OpenAI's model, or they are using the 50,000 GPUs, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is the markets don't know the answer to that. Okay, and the Chinese government or the Chinese are not going to come out and say, oh, yeah, sorry, we lied. Actually, we did use 50,000 GPUs. We are not going to know. Okay, and the key takeaway is there is therefore uncertainty. Markets don't like uncertainty, particularly, keep in mind, S&P is up 50%, 50% since October 23. Off of what? Well, all this investment in CapEx, all the investment in the future of AI. That's the scenario in which we went into overnight. That's the scenario that's now playing out in front of your screens. Okay, now I'm going to give you that overview. Now I'm going to talk through what could happen today. We are currently on screen down 11% NVIDIA. Okay, the key takeaway, I'm just going to fast forward to the chart. There it is. Overnight, we're down 11% NVIDIA. What I want you to focus on today is effectively that level there, 127 to 129. Everyone is coming in this morning. The big institutions are coming in this morning. They're waiting for that cash open. They now have to decide, is this significant or not? Are they going to scale back or not? Now remember, there are trillions in profit that fund managers, institutions are all sitting on. Why? Well, because what have we done since November 2023? We've simply just rallied. There's a lot of paper profits in the market, and that's why we've seen such a significant move overnight. Nasdaq's down 1,000 points, S&P's down 150 handles. Is this the end of it? Is this a buying opportunity? The simple answer is absolutely not. As a day trader, get that out of your head. If you want to learn to be a good day trader, you've got to go with the flow. You've got to trade the sentiment. The sentiment stinks right now. There's blood in the water. That's what you trade. Could they come out today? Could all the big institutions come out today and say, look, we're just going to buy NVIDIA back up? And could NVIDIA finish flat today? Of course it could. But probabilistically, what we know right now is there's absolute uncertainty in the market. No one seems to actually know what's going on. How do I know that? Well, if you think back, this DeepSeek news came out already the middle of last week. It was in Davos already the middle of last week. Okay, we had Microsoft CEO on Thursday commenting how good DeepSeek's model really is. The reality is that no one put 2 and 2 together, and everyone's going to try and put 2 and 2 together over the course of the next couple of hours and days. Okay, uncertainty will reign supreme. That's what you have to trade. That is the theme which we see. Now, some key things to pay attention to. German bonds not responding to this. Okay, back-end bonds in the US are responding to this. As a result, what we're seeing is a little bit of weakening in the dollar. Risk-off is not going actually into the dollar. Risk-off is actually going into the yen. Yen, fantastic one. Have a look at that chart. I'm going to actually show it to you. There it is. No, that's not it. There's the yen chart. Okay, you can see we're breaking out of that sort of high that we posted last week, double top. Don't be surprised to see this yen accelerate to the upside. Why? Well, look, if this is true, and if we're going to see a massive capex destruction and a massive, couple of $1 trillion wiped off of the US stock market this week, the reality is you're going to start to see the bond markets price in a recession. Okay, if you're going to price in a recession, dollar's going to come unstuck. Why? Because everyone is long dollar. So pay attention to the dollar. I think yen is the place to represent that trade. And then, of course, who are the key stocks to trade against this whole sort of shakeout? Well, Microsoft, definitely one to sell. Meta, one to sell. Google, one to sell. Why? Well, all of these companies are both heavily investing in producing their own AI, but at the same time, they're also heavily investing in data centers, capacity, future capacity. Okay. Now, that future capacity theme is very important. Why? Because if you're spending billions and billions of capacity, ultimately, that's not going to be needed anytime soon. The reality is that, remember, technology moves quickly. These chips that they're all spending billions of dollars on will effectively be old in the next couple of years. Okay, the point is that they may well have spent a significant amount of money on capacity that's never actually going to be utilized. In other words, we could see leverage bets from a lot of the big 7, the Mag 7, come massively unstuck over the course of the next couple of sessions. Okay. One final note, who's the most sensitive? Well, of course, Microsoft. Pay attention to that. Microsoft and NVIDIA are the two key proxy marks to focus on. Why Microsoft? They own 50% of OpenAI. They spend $16 billion, and the market cap was somewhere around $170 billion. Okay, so effectively, what's OpenAI's stock worth? What is their valuation? Of course, they're private still, but what is their true valuation now? Okay, so the point is it's mayhem out there. This is blood in the water type day. Don't stand in the way. Do not try and fade this. Do not pick levels. Do not think you're smart. Do not think you know what's going on. You don't. None of us do. All we know is uncertainty is what everyone knows to be true. Trade the uncertainty. That is the theme from today. If you're afraid to trade it, step out of the way. Okay, this could very much be a flash crash too. Now, what will that look like? Particularly if you're trading the ladders, what you're going to see if it does start to move to flash crash type stuff is you are going to see ultimately liquidity disappear. In other words, the bids and the offer will evaporate. VIX will trade 24, 25, 26, 30, 32, 40. That's what you're going to see. Do not fade in that scenario because you will come unstuck. Okay, just a few other notes, just in terms of Microsoft, there it is, you can see it's 6% down. Like I said, NVIDIA, pay attention. So long as we stay below 127, we are going to see some aggressive washout today. Okay, that's a wrap for it then. If there are any other questions, do post in the Discord. Keep it lively out there, keep smart, don't do anything crazy. Good luck out there, and I'll catch up with you all again next time.